Ma'am!
Huh. Why haven't we started yet? There we go. So, good evening everybody, my name is Osa, and tonight we're playing Farm Sim 19 on the Oldstream Farm. And it's raining. I have skipped through the night, so it's first thing the next morning. We have weeds. I don't think I have a weeder. We have weeds and we have fertilization to do on the weedy fields. Oh, that's right. Okay. One of the fields is over here. So that's not particularly big. Do we have a weeder? I forget. Yes, we do. Unfortunately, I don't know how long this rain's going to last, so... Oh. Guess we'll turn the lights on. Customize. Oh, engine gets knackered with this one. 130 horsepower. Narrows. Now, ordinarily I probably wouldn't do that. But since it's raining, I don't know. I'm going to hazard a guess that narrow tyres is going to destroy less of the crop in the rain. Although I'm also... Hello, somebody shut the gate. Sesame. Oops. I'm also willing to entertain the idea that maybe having wider tyres would mean we sink less into the ground than with narrows.
Come here. Come here. What is that noise? Do it right now. Do it right now. That's not right. That's not making any noise. When you're right.
Oh. And again, I have the forward and reverse active, so I don't have to remember to select forward or reverse when I want to move. As I said yesterday, it'll probably take me about a week to get used to it. Maybe a little longer. Select reverse. Oops.
Don't do that. I told you so.
We missed some weeds, didn't we? Yeah. This weather event is kind of cool. I think with seasons it's only going to get better. Because we're supposed to get lightning and thunder and stuff like that, and winds. I will hold off fertilising until the rain stops. I'll just deal with the weeds for now. I missed some of those. There's a strip there. It's around the edge, but that's close enough. Okay, that's good enough. So we'll fold that, we'll head over to 2. Is over here, right? Yes. I think the problem we had with this the first time round was the weeds grew either after we'd harvested and before we'd prepared anything on the field, or they grew just before we did any ploughing or cultivation. So they weren't classed as treated, they were just classed as ploughed in. And then the problem there is they'll come back again between growth cycles. Whereas the other fields were planted and treated properly for weeds. I also think this weeder is barely on the limits of the turn radius for this, which is why I'm occasionally skipping bits of the field from weeds. Don't seem to be doing too badly. There's some weeds over on the left I think I've skipped a couple of times now. We'll check the field when we get to the end, finish it off. Then go do the last field. I did fail to raise that. Okay. I think we'll cover the majority of this field in the next pass to the top. Hopefully I didn't miss anything. Okay. Yeah, I think I missed a couple of bits now. Should probably really go with we've got most of it done, much like contracts in 17. Yeah, get 95% of it done, and that's close enough. So there's little strips here and there. I should probably think about doing it while it's free rather than paying for herbicide. So right around there. Okay. I'm going to call that sufficient. What was the other field that needed done? 5. I'm on the wrong side. We're in Europe, not England. Seriously, that girl doesn't know when to quit. She came in from supper to the office. Her shirt was wet because she'd been playing in the water, which she's not allowed to do. And if I'm hearing things correctly, she just went to the bathroom, and now her pyjamas are all wet because she was playing in the water. You just spent half the evening in time out. Well, not that the evening's very long for her, because you were playing in the water. And as soon as you get back in the bathroom, you play in the water again. Well, if you hadn't figured out you get in trouble for that the first time round. Oh, I did see the DEF mod, and I don't think I installed it. In fact, it's pretty safe to say I did not install it, because it's not active on this farm. This farm I update everything, every time I start the farm. So I basically deselect all the mods and reselect them all. Oops. I can't see where I'm going. That's approximately right. I did install the forward and backwards mod, which is the 2 arrows above the wrench and gas dispenser icons. So now I just have a go and stop pedal instead of a go forwards and go backwards pedal. I have to remember to select whether I want to go forwards or backwards. So it's kind of like an automatic gearbox. You've got drive and reverse effectively. And if you get out, it sticks it in neutral. But I don't think there's a way for me to put it into neutral. Well, yeah, water is fun to play in, but not when you're in your bedclothes ready to go to bed. Then from personal experience, it can be very uncomfortable because the water gets cold and you're trying to sleep in cold clothes. Yes. Yeah, the brake is now, basically I've got a go and stop button. So the brake is stop, whether I'm going forwards or backwards. Obviously, under normal game mode, without the mod installed, the brake is stop if going forwards and go backwards if you're stationary. And the accelerator is stop if going backwards or go forwards. And this makes the driving experience basically the same as driving a car. Stick it in forward, stick it in reverse, and then press the accelerator to go forwards and the brake to stop. I don't have a go backwards pedal. So I'm finding the driving much more natural, but I keep forgetting to shift into forwards and reverse when I get to the end of a field. So like at this point here, I'm just going to lift this up and I'm just going to do a 180-degree turn without having to reselect the gears. But when I get to the bottom of the field, because there's all the trees down there, I have to reverse, and sometimes I forget to do that. And doing a helper type turn where you're going forwards and backwards and forwards and backwards, it's a lot to remember. At least it is for me now. It's not natural yet to keep selecting the forward gear and backwards gear. So I'm still stopping with the brake, lifting my foot off the brake and then pushing the brake again to go backwards, and said, oh yeah, that doesn't work. Like I was just about to do there, was to push the brake again instead of select reverse gear and then push the go forward button, or push the go button. It's not go forwards anymore. No, with this mod loaded, brake is not go backwards. The accelerator is go backwards if I'm in reverse gear. The brake is purely a stop button, it's nothing else. I could probably turn off stop and go braking, which I usually have active in Farm Sim, because I'll push the brake, and if I'm trying to make fine adjustments I actually want to stop on the brake and not suddenly go racing off in reverse. Also, from what I've seen of Seasons 19, we're not going to have stepped lighting. Like, just then, it's suddenly got a little bit brighter. And it looks to me like what Seasons is giving us is a far more gradual change in light levels. So that is, I'm going to appreciate that, because I do kind of get annoyed with the sort of the step lighting where it's pitch dark, then it's significantly brighter, then it's significantly brighter, but it's half hour between each change of stage in lighting. I have no idea how accurate this is as far as weeding this field. Potentially I've missed tons of weeds. Obviously with fully grown weeds, it's easy to see when you miss them and when you haven't, because they're big giant flowers. But at this stage it's green weeds on a green crop, and this thing pulls them out. It doesn't leave them in a blackened dead state. So it's kind of a challenge to see where you've been and where you haven't been. Short of counting what goes in under the weeder and what comes out the back. I think since we're down at the bottom, there is a big strip there. So now I have to figure out where that is. Probably about there, I think. Certainly looks good. Not that I can tell. That certainly looks about right. Somewhere along this strip there are weeds and we are ripping them up. Okay, that's the most egregious of the weeds done. I have no idea. Yeah, about there. Although this particular morning hasn't been that dark. Even at 6 AM, you could see a lot of what was going on. And rain. I don't. I need a Fendt to test this with, because the Fendt has the forward and reverse arrows when you're driving on the dash. It would be interesting to see what the effect of this mod is on that indicator. Okay. Left reverse. Oops. I'm assuming this tractor doesn't have reverse lights either. Either that or the mod does not activate your reverse lights. I wasn't paying attention in yesterday's game to notice if that was a thing or not. Oh, tree. A little bit further. There we go. And that, I think, is about as sufficient as it gets.